Hey, True Believers England team here. So found this story, figured what the heck, this would make a good topic. And wow, I got to tell you something. I don't get it. I just don't get it. So Grant Morrison wrote Animal Man. That's where I really first discovered him. That in the Serious House on a Serious Street, the Arkham Asylum graphic novel, and it was really good. I like this guy. I like this guy as a writer. When did they fucking go off the rails? Seriously. When did they just decide, you know what? All of us collectively, we're going to be stupid from here on in. There's something going on in the article itself that I will not participate. Grant Morrison is not a there, they, them, this, that, nothing. You're a he. You're one person. So I don't do that when I read the Ezra Miller. I'm not going to do it for here. But what gets me is that are we supposed to take this seriously? The headline, of course, reads, Grant Morrison talks links between drag and superheroes with Seth Meyers. First of all, this is something I don't even, I don't watch Seth Meyers. I don't watch late night at all, as a matter of fact. It just doesn't appeal to me. And yeah, I've seen the vaccine dance with Stephen Colbert. Somebody I used to think was actually kind of funny. As a conservative, I thought he did a good conservative send-up. And nobody, by the way, did it better than Alec Baldwin in 30 Rock, though. He freaking nailed it. Hello to MARANYA in a disguise. Dalton, what's up? So it says Grant Morrison went on Late Night with Seth Meyers last night to talk about their first novel. I did it. His first novel, published this week, Luda, described as a story about an aging drag queen and a younger prodigy who comes into their life and how it affects it. All set in the Scottish-American melded city of Glasgow. I thought it was Glasgow. A combination of Glasgow and Brooklyn. Okay. And a place in which Grant visited in their dreams, he told Seth. And he says, I want to do a retelling of the old Merlin the Magician, the Arthurian legend. And he had this story where Merlin, at the end of his life, he meets this young witch called Vivian, and she flatters him, and she kind of wants to learn magic. And, of course, it all goes badly. You know, he's just the old goat who thinks the beautiful young woman is interested in him, and he teaches her all the secrets, then locks him, and she locks him in a tree for all eternity. Something that's actually kind of a little bit like the Arthurian legends, if I remember correctly. If I remember my Excalibur, the movie, correctly. I did read the book a long time ago. So it started from that, and I thought that's a story that really needs a drag makeover. I want to see Merlin in a dress. So the idea of doing a contemporary version of that, he says, and set in this theater world that was super contained with these characters who are basically living in a world, which is our world, where we can't tell the difference between reality and illusion anymore. No, sir, you can't. And that may be why you're calling yourself they and them and their instead of he. You're making crap up, and then you can't believe what's your lie and what's your truth, or what is the truth. We're in the world of fake news, created mostly by the left, and VR and AR, all that stuff. So this book is kind of how do you negotiate in a world in which we don't know what's real and what's true and what's fake? Okay. So Seth commented to some degree, it's like drag is a huge departure from, say, superheroes, which is, of course, Grant Morrison's bread and butter. And Grant Morrison says, I never thought I would do that clap thing. He says, well, absolutely not. You'd think of Superman, Peter Parker, those are just nerdy guys. But then they dress up in these super flamboyant costumes and go out at night. Batman's the worst. Batman dresses for the fetish club. He gets in his big car and he cruises the streets of Gotham. He's hoping the Joker notices. You know, he wants that. He wants to be seen, and that's why. So not only is Batman a drag queen, but Batman is also secretly gay for the Joker. Can we please now remove Grant Morrison from the comic book writing pool and let him join all of his compatriots like Vita Ayala? Please, can we do that? I don't want him anymore writing comics. If this is your attitude, please stay away. Seriously, if you are unable to look at a hero and see who the hero was and only what you want them to be, it's time for you to step away. This is something I've been saying for quite a long time now. These writers, instead of finding the voice of the character, put their own voice within the character, and it ruins them. And that has been going on forever and a day now, and it truly, truly has to end. Cartoons, I'm going to be doing a video on Captain America. Not just Captain America, but a few others, but definitely Captain America. I might just do a review of it. But I've got stuff to say. I saw Wes's video, and he missed a few things, and it's just one of those, just something. Like I said, I've been saying this for 6 freaking years. I also saw a purchase video today. I don't know who did it, but I loved it because they were like, oh, I've been watching comic book videos since the beginning when it was Diversity and ZACK and Captain Cummings and that England tiff or whatever. And I was like, hey, they remembered me. Yay. All right. So he says there's no way he's going out as Bruce Wayne. That guy's putting on ears and the leathers and the cape. By the way, you guys need a freaking editor. Leathers is not Elithers. I am able to read that, but okay. And the cape and is like, notice me? No, you dumb fucker. No, you ignorant asshat. You wrote Batman. You freaking wrote Batman. What is it about 2022, Grant Morrison, that made you stupid? Seriously. Seriously. What is it? Even the good writers are freaking stupid in the year 2022. Why? What made you dumb? Batman is not there to get noticed. As a matter of fact, the whole thing's about stealth. The only thing that he wants you to notice is this horrific image that when you do finally see him, is he human or not? He wants to strike fear in the hearts of criminals. He's not fucking RuPaul, who gets mentioned in just a second. What is it about this freaking current year that is making even the best of the writers stupid? This is the guy who wrote, in my opinion, the best run of JLA. Like I said, Arkham Asylum. Got that on the shelf right over here. He's done some great stuff. So what the freaking hell happened? So Seth Perry, hold on. So I think it's just a hop, skip, and a jump from RuPaul to Bruce Wayne, you know. Well, you know, of course, then again, you know what? I'm going to give just I haven't even watched. I'm reading it. So I'm going to maybe hope he's being tongue-in-cheek about this. And of course, we've got some comments and all that stuff. He's obviously, he's hoping the Joker notices, you know, he wants that. He wants to. I thought Batman didn't want to be seen. No, he doesn't. And that he doesn't really want to have to be Batman. I don't know. I think this gets to the root of why I don't jibe with Morrison's take on Batman. One of the biggest things that triggered my comic nerd rage about Morrison's run was the fact that Bruce Wayne was publicly funded Batman Inc., which seemed to go against common sense for keeping a secret identity. Also, Batman Inc. is really stupid. I'm going to say that. I never read Batman Inc., but the idea of it is really stupid. One Batman. Just like there's one Wolverine and there's one Spider-Man. But over time, they've multiplied everything to the point where their characters aren't special anymore. I remember when we first started this, and by the way, one thing I really do dig about Maranya, which she was one of the people who got it. Maranya is one of the people who understood what is now known as OGCG was all about. Oh, no, but we're making our own comics. Hey, good. Congratulations. Go and make your own comics. I hope they're great. I hope you're a millionaire. But what the freaking, what we started off being was somebody could step up and say, hey, look, these characters that got us into this hobby, these characters we love are in trouble because you're giving them to people who don't give a f about the characters. They just give a f about their message. It's like the teachers that go to school. Well, my agenda is to teach them all about queer. No, math, Reading, writing, do that. Find the voice of the character and speak to the people through that voice. If you put a message in there, look, we're used to it. Everybody's used to it. Politics have, in fact, been in comics since the very beginning. I just have this book right here that I've been reading, as a matter of fact. Wonder Woman, The War Years. A lot of politics in it. But they were told through really good stories. This is freaking ridiculous. And what's sad is I'm not a comic book writer. So I can't be there to save. And by the way, being a white man, a white male comic book writer these days wouldn't get me a lot of clout. Something happened to Neil Gaiman, says Dalton. The world isn't going the way I was promised. Yeah. Arkham Asylum is very overrated, said Twitless. I get it. I can actually see with that one, somebody saying that. There are some I hear, like a lot of the classic stories that came out. I hear people say, well, it wasn't that good. No, I'm not believing, like when you say The Watchmen wasn't good or Dark Knight Returns. Plus, also, you also have to think of these stories within the historical context. What we were given versus what they were did step outside of the bun, I guess. Let's see, either the Hadron Collider or someone like the first seal in Revelation. I have no idea what that means. It's all political. If they can anger conservatives, mission accomplished. And maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just giving them what I want. Unless, let's see, unless these are loaded questions from the interviewer. I don't know. It just seems, why would you do this? I mean, once again, I hope it's all tongue-in-cheek, and because otherwise, please, by all means, keep Grant Morrison away from Batman Forever and a Day. From now, as a matter of fact, forget. I don't want him near any comic book characters ever again, because if this is the way he thinks about Batman, if he can't get Batman, he'll just shift it over to another one. Let's see. There's no money left in floppy comics. Heck, half the writers are begging online for rent. You get what you pay for. All the good writers moved on to greener pastures. This reminds me, I'm going to say it again. I met Ethan, and we were talking, and why are you were teaching about art, and now you're melting Rose Tico figures, and you can't make money on YouTube talking about comics. Nobody gives a shit about comics, by the way. If we do, and some of y'all don't. I mean, I know that from the videos and such like this, but some of you guys even, I know you don't care about comics. You're done with the modern. Look at Eric. God bless him. Eric's done with modern comics. Eric, he's done. Out. Forget about it. I'm getting there. I've got a pile of comics. I got to tell you something. I haven't really dug into them. I buy them, but I haven't really dug into them. I read Action Comics. That was the most recent, and I read the Atom Smasher, and I read the Captain America that you were talking about, because of course I heard it was crappy and maybe it would make for a good bad comic beatdown, and it will. But overall, I don't have this excitement anymore. It's not like woo, new comic book day. I was actually thinking I'm moving shops and everything, and I want to pare down my pull list now to only about 5 or 6 titles, maybe even I can go 15, 5 independent, 5 Marvel, 5 DC. But it occurred to me that I really do want to just pare down, so it's the bare minimum that I could get the discounts that help out the auction. I don't know. Dalton saying we want our characters back. I do believe that's the big take on it, right? Let's see. Are you a comic fan? Yes. Not hired. Are you a radical leftist using this job as a stepping stone? Yes. Hired, says Glinzer, which, yeah, it's got to be, right? Except for this is Grant Morrison. It's not like he's a Tumblr hire, or maybe he's the very first. And we were just kind of, since we didn't have Tumblr back then, since we didn't have the internet, we were fooled. We didn't know. When I think of the idea of Batman Inc., I think of epilogue ending of Batman Beyond, where there's a whole army of Batman. Yeah, except for, were these Batmen trained from like 13 to 25 by the best the world had to offer? Do they truly have Bruce Wayne's determination? There's a reason why every time, and a lot of people say this, well, you didn't have a problem with Nightwing taking over. You didn't have a problem with this guy. Here's the reason why. All the stories when in the past, when you would have somebody take over the costume, it was to show you that no one else could have been. No one else can be Batman except for Bruce Wayne, because of Bruce Wayne's will, because his determination. Nowadays, okay, if I put on the cowl for some reason, that gives me all the skills of Batman. Let's see. Where their comics on walls had little politics, just history, says to Hillam. Morrison believes in cosmic trends in the universe or some such rot and that, and you get in tune with what's coming and predict trends before it happens. Yeah, maybe that's it. And that's why he's the world's first Tumblr hire. Being a trend chaser is something that my edit. Whoop, let me scroll up. Being a trend chaser is something that my editors openly say we don't do it because it's not sustenance to returns. Better do it a good job than a half-assed one. Yeah, I get that. One of the things that I've been doing is putting up these comic book origins on this channel. I love doing comic book origins. And when I looked at the analytics, I got this thing called QVid or something like that. And I looked at the analytics and all the videos that have been serving this channel well from the past. It's the comic book origins. The drama, it's good for a while. Like a video like this is good for a while. In the next couple of days, I'll get a few hundred hits, and then it's going to go away. It just will. That's the way this kind of stuff does. But I just put out a video about Batgirl yesterday, the day before, and it got only about 30-40 views in the first hour or two, which is really, really bad. But it's climbed, and it's getting just as many views as something like this does, and it will forever now. Only a couple of them have completely failed, like Bone. Nobody gives a freaking hell about Bone, by the way. Let me see. I'm just saying that Morrison's dumb opinions on superheroes are the least insane of his views comparatively. I wouldn't doubt it. Let's see. Is there a comics restraining order? I know, right? I've fought for the classic comic book characters to be written and drawn to their core natures, even characters I personally don't care for, because they all matter. And that's something I've said since the beginning of the channel also. There are no bad comic book characters, except for maybe Ghetto Man. There are no bad comic book characters. There are just bad writers. Yeah, you could take, Neil Gaiman actually showed us that. In Sandman, didn't he have a story about Prez, the teenage president from the 1960s? And it was actually really good. Brother Power the Geek, which a lot of people laughed at. I didn't. I love that series. That was made good in the 90s. Even Riri Williams was elevated when it left the hands of Brian Michael Bendis and went to e-viewing. I know some people didn't. I didn't like it after a while, but still, those first 4 or 5 issues, they did sure feel like a breath of fresh air. Let's see. Dalton saying, it's the fact that those who were there can't even tell the difference between individualistic free thinking, 90s left and today's left. This is what we always meant. Like, and what's different? Yeah, let's see. Bruce had his parents murdered in front of him when he was 7 years old. He swore that what happened to him would not happen to another child. And that's what separates Bruce from all the others. Exactly. That's why there shouldn't ever be another Bruce Wayne. This, what are they trying to do? What's his name? Ghostface or something like that? The ghost killer. I'm sorry, but what's the motivation? Why is he doing it? Because, oh, I want to be evil. I don't know. Anywho, I really had that. This is my only topic for the evening. I was hoping, but if you guys have something, by all means. What about egg foo? Egg foo can be made well, by the way. Egg foo being the Wonder Woman villain. Yeah, I can see him being done very well. Ghosty McGhostface. Yeah, exactly. Ghostmaker. Thank you, Dark Admiral. My brain kind of went a little bit. So I don't know. I read that and I was like, come on, guys, not it's at 2 Grant Morrison, except for why should we have not seen it coming forever and a day with that? It's ridiculous. And as a comic book fan, you want to know where you can go, right? You want to know where can you go to find just fun comics. Now, granted, that's one of the things I like to do is, hey, look, yeah, we this fun comic. When we do the auctions, I always point out, look, if you're looking for just pure entertainment, this is it. This is a good time to be had. A lot of it, like Eric and I have been saying, go back to the back issues. You know, I've been enjoying the heck out of these, although they can be a little bit ridiculous too. The character of Etta Candy is literally somebody who has dived into the ocean after a box of chocolates during a fight with Nazis. So it can get ridiculous and it gets fun. By the way, that's my daughter at Disney. There you go. I use pictures as my bookmarks. Yeah. Anywho, I mean, but it's still a lot of fun, just a ton of fun. And I recommend it, you know, to go out, search down if you can find reprints, if you can find the books themselves. They're just a lot of fun, just a ton of fun. Off the shelves, occasionally we get a good book. Something that's just, like I said, pure entertainment. The Atom Smasher book was entertaining. I like that one. Action Comics have been fun. However, I do have a problem with Action Comics as well. I'm reading the I think the War World stuff is great, but they're not. Superman's a married man. Superman is a married man with a 10-year-old son, and they're not writing him as a married man with a 10-year-old son. He seems very content to be at War World doing all of the warring. I don't see a lot of worry in the character that he is so far away from his wife, so far away from his son. And I think that's a weakness of the story. One of the things that definitely made Superman fun during the Tomasi run was the fact that he was a family man. You actually felt for everybody through that interaction. So while on an action spot, Action Comics is good, I don't think they're actually handling Superman as well as they could. Dived in the ocean for a box of chocolates. Lizzo was in a Did I say the ocean's dried up when she dived in? No, sorry. It's not Lizzo. Alrighty. Let's see. A gay son. Yeah. The only way I'll buy new stuff is at an England auction. Yay, he gets the money. I most certainly appreciate that. And that might actually happen. After I read the comics, let me put them up here, see if anybody wants to give it a shot. The problem is if I read a book that sucks, I'm not going to be able to go, well, this one's great. Here, try this. You know, it's whoops. I tried once, but I couldn't. I ended up telling the truth. I put up some Futures in, like Futures in Legion of Superheroes and such. In all honesty, and I'll be honest here, for the most part, I enjoyed Futures End. There was a lot to be loved there. The Swamp Thing was incredible. I did like Batman, the Futures End story revolving around the Bat titles. Shazam was good. I do, once again, even Harley Quinn, the Futures End Harley Quinn was excellent. But I can't tell you anything good about the Futures End Supergirl or Legion of Superheroes. It was horrible. But basically, anything with Riley Rosmo art, I'm not giving a good grade to. One slick saying, almost all the comics I buy are back issues or crowdfunded projects. It's the only way I can get good reads. I'm glad you like those too. Let's see. no one is handling DC characters as well as they did 20 years ago. That would be in the year 2000, which was at the time of Grant Morrison's excellent run on Justice League. They don't have the finesse and enough people motivated and skilled enough to refine it. You know, obviously everybody's saying right now that the problem is the whole the lack of talent. They can't afford to pay the artists and writers very much, so they just don't have the talent. You know, you can't get a Chuck Dixon if they wanted to for $10 a page. I don't know what the going rate is. I only imagine that they're not paying Greg Capullo $10 a page. I guarantee you that. But if that's the reason, you know, that's why you see all these people out there with their hand out. Lord knows I've got mine out. So if you don't mind, there's a Ko-Fi link in the description below. And I do accept super chats, although I've never required them. And as I said before, I have been told by people, stop answering questions. Stop answering questions. Only do the super chats. Any old school or good writers not bit by the woke bug statements these days. Oh, and Cobra Kai season 5 was epic. Do no spoilers. I'm not allowed to watch that until my wife gets here. She has been talking divorce since I made her watch Thor: Love and Thunder, but I'm sure I could get her back. I'm sure it's not. Now, actually, she really enjoyed like the first 20 or 30 minutes of it, and then she turned off just like that. Like, it's like, ha ha ha, ha, that's funny. Oh, yes. That was it. It was like it lasted 30 minutes for her, and then it just kind of flatlined, and she lost all sorts of interest. We have not yet decided to put on Pinocchio, though. They're not writing superhero stories anymore. They're writing propaganda, says in a disguise, using the superheroes. I know, it's ridiculously stupid. Look, I get that I'm aged out. What is it, 18 to 50 or 18 to 51 or 52? Maybe I've got this last year here. But they should know, if they want to go after this new anime audience or whatever, these people who like the slice of life books and all that, do it while keeping hold of the audience you got. We're the loyal ones. We're the people who would buy everything. We're the character loyalists, the artist loyalists. We would follow them to the ends of the earth to get that new issue. And they pissed on us. And they do it constantly. Look at the Lord of the Rings thing that's going on the TV show. I watched the first episode, not going to watch anymore. But hey, look, this is not Tolkien's vision. What are you doing? Hey, you racist, stop the... Don't piss off the people who are absolutely going to watch your show. All you've got to do is make it anything like Peter Jackson's, and you're in. And if you put something subtle in to gain other viewers and such, congratulations. But they're burning bridges while they're talking to people. Hey, no, we don't want them. We want you as our audience. And they're not interested in being the audience. All righty, so get her to watch She-Hulk. Oh, she hates She-Hulk. I tolerate She-Hulk, and I know that at some point in time y'all might ask me about it, and I have to talk about it, so I watch it. But my wife watched the first 5 minutes of She-Hulk, and she says, "Turn this shit off. Just turn this shit." I can tolerate the wokeness and all that kind of stuff. Gail does not have a comic book YouTube channel, and therefore does not have to watch this shit. And she's angry at She-Hulk. Like, that's how bad she hates it. It's not like she's angry with me for putting it on. She's angry with the show for sucking that bad. And she's not even a comic book fan. It's not like us. We love She-Hulk. So when we watch the She-Hulk TV show, we're mad at it for them f***ing up the character. Not her. She's just mad because it's that f***ing sucky. Let's see. Glenda says, off topic, but happy birthday to Sega Dreamcast, one of the best consoles ever. games without patches, updates, and DLC, and the first one that attaches to the internet. Well, there you go. But thank you for the super chat. I had a Dreamcast. I had to get the Dreamcast because that was the system that had Resident Evil Code Veronica. When I saw that, holy Toledo, that opening segment and everything, that was freaking groundbreaking. So I got that. I love the one that they call it Seaman, that freaky ass game. Echo the Dolphin, I remember playing on the Dreamcast. There were so many damn good games. Soul Calibur, that's where I found out about Soul Calibur. Good stuff. She-Hulk is not as bad as the Black Pills claim. It is more lighthearted, which was what her book was back in the day. Some things are meh, but in general, it's fun watch. I loved the second episode. I was tolerant of the first, like the first episode, okay. Had my problems with it, but it was passable. The third episode was horrible. And this fourth episode, very forgettable. Absolutely forgettable. I was reminded that there was a magic user in it. And the whole story was Wong Soing, a stage magician. How can you forget there's a magic user in a show that's based around magic? Let's see. There should be a warning on Ring of Power. Do not operate with heavy equipment. I'm not going to watch it because it was one of the most boring things I have ever seen in a disguise. Thank you, by the way, again, Glenzer, for the super chat. Speaking of games, if you're a fan of TMNT, the Cowabunga collection, best collection in years, I've got that first one. It was a side scroller. We had one in the movie theater I was manager of. And occasionally I would open it up and just go click, 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 and get us all free credits so we could play it through. And yeah, fun times. Until I discovered that we were supposed to actually have a quarter for every one of those clicks, and I had to pay it back. Let's see. She-Hulk is the kind of female I never want to be around. Arrogant. Well, TV She-Hulk. The comic book She-Hulk's much better. Speaking of third episode of She-Hulk, where is Ash? I want to hear what he thinks about. I left the invitation in the DM meeting, but nobody's jumped on. But you have to like Ring of Power. Disliking it is verboten. Okay, I'll be verboten. Yeah, but it Rings of Power bored the hell out of me. I'm liking the Game of Thrones though. That so far has been really good. I like this last episode as well. In all honesty, I don't know anything about the lore. I was supposed to do a show with Aloise. We were going to talk about it, but this week's been taken up getting Ashley ready to go. She's leaving the nest tomorrow. I'm not crying. You're crying. I might have a small auction tomorrow. I just haven't had a chance to get out to the shop and get a collection or anything. So it might be like we did last week, where it's a small box. Maybe continue the 50-cent, 25-cent thing. All the books from the last two auctions are out now, so they're on their way. But at least that's been going. Wondering when Marvel and DC will realize the female superheroes don't bring in the ladies, hot shirtless guys do. Actually, that was done in She-Hulk for a second. I'm going to leave you guys with a blank screen. I forgot my water over here, and I can feel it. Hold on just a sec. I've become a bottled water drinker. I always thought, wow, that's kind of silly to buy a bottle of water. You can get it out of the tap. But one day I drank it out of the tap, and I was like, nah, this shit's better. Is she leaving on a jet? Does she know when she'll be back again? Freaking hell. Yeah, she is leaving on a Boeing anyway, I guess. But yeah, she's going up to Michigan. They're asking her to pay $125 a month in rent. So she's going to be doing this factory job, all the while putting money away so she can then go to, I always get this, New Zealand. One of the pieces of advice is, and she didn't take my first piece of advice, but hopefully she'll take the second. I told her, don't leave for another year. If it's only $125, you got to pay for the rent and all that kind of stuff. Go for, like, save up for a year, because when you go to New Zealand, I told her that she didn't like to hear it, but it's the truth. Daddy's got to tell her what she needs to hear, not what she wants to hear. And I told her that I want her to have enough money that when she goes to New Zealand, if everything falls apart, she could take care of herself before we can get her back here. You know, I just think that's kind of smart. Did you know that Black Phone was a graphic novel and is written by the son of Stephen King? It's a graphic novel? I thought it was just a book, but that's kind of cool if it's a comic book movie. That's vodka. No, this is actually water. If this was vodka, you'd see my face. Anybody who's been to a drunk stream knows I cannot take my alcohol. I am not a drinker at all. Although I may just, I need some money. I need the money. I may actually go against Maranya and Gail and do another drunk stream, which, by the way, are always funny, because at the tail end, when I am done for the day, Darkness Comes will show up and go, here's $50. You owe me 5 shots. Oh. Who knows? She-Hulk could turn out to be the best Marvel show. We haven't seen how it ends yet, so we can't really judge. Okay. Let's keep that optimism up. Oh my gosh, Hendrix, I told her, I said, you better go see The Hobbiton. You better. Now we all know how perfectly E's head blocks the poison ivy. Oh, sorry. Yep. There you go. Here's the poison ivy statue. Although she's gray because I've got the green screen on as well. So yeah, I like that statue though. It's really good. The ones you can't see are the ones in front of me. I've got the black mana. Unfortunately, he couldn't fit on the Aquaman shelf right above me here. But this was a Christmas present for my brother, and I didn't spend a lot of the money on myself when I made that big sale. But this was one of the ones I got. This is something I bought for myself with the money from the Common America sale. It's only a $50. You know, it's not actually metal or anything. It's that PVC thing or whatever they call it. But I really like it. And this one was a birthday present, and it was at one of the warehouse sales. It only cost $80, but originally I know it was like multiple $100. I don't know how much, but yeah. So it's pretty big, not too shabby, as a matter of fact. Oi. But those are the ones you can't see. And I still have my Teen Titans. They haven't made it on a shelf yet. But I hope to get them there sometime. There we go. Alrighty. Let's see. Englentine is right. He drank a teaspoon of amaretto, and before we knew it, he was 3 sheets to the wind. You're only a little exaggerating there. That was because he mixed amaretto with other alcohols, which I advised him not to do. I got paid. Hey, what's up, Batman? I would not put him in the Aquaman shelf. It might start a fight. Well, Aquaman already has his hands full with Orm. And there's the movie poster with, it's a 1960s kind of style with Paul Newman playing Aquaman. So, there we go. Let's see. To do $80 for a 15-inch thin, as it's probably worth 3 times that. Probably. it was a really good statue. It's one of those things. The warehouse, the comic shop has these warehouse sales, and like the first day it's 40% off, then the second day it's 60% off, and then The third day it's 75. So you can hope that things are going to be there on the Sunday, but I figured out a way around all this. I figured out a way to get what you want on the cheapest day, because I always go all 3 days. But what I would do is I would grab the expensive stuff I wanted, because they let you carry tote bags around, and I carry the whatever expensive thing I want around, and I look for the books or whatever I am buying that day. And then at the end of the day, I put that expensive thing back on the shelf. And the next day, I'm one of the first people in. I go grab that expensive thing, put it in the tote bag, carry it around all day. And then at the end of the day, I put it back on the shelf. And then on the final day, when it's 75% off, that's when I buy it. So if anybody ever has that and you're freaking nut bar like me, you might try it. Batman saying modern comic writers think they're like Thanos when it comes to writing comics, but they're actually more like Willie Lumpkin. Yeah, the mailman whose superpower is to wiggle his ears. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding on that one. Hey, Redguard, what's up? If someone ever made a statue of the Giga Chad called Dr. Livesey, how fast would you snatch it up? Well, first of all, I would have to Google that to find out what that is. I've seen real men get toasted drinking White Claw, which is kind of like getting drunk off of Mike's Hard Lemonade. I don't know. Did Bruce Willis sing a song about it? That's about my level of alcohol drinking. My friends used to joke about, they used to call me a girl drink drunk. Give me a drink with a whole bunch of fruit in it, or what were they called? Mudslides, which is basically a milkshake with Kahlua. Yeah, that's about it. All righty. What's up, Lex Englentine? Well, at least you got the name right. Like I said, that was kind of funny in Perch's video. He even reads it. England Tiff? Yep. Good to know I'm remembered. Let's see. I'm not keen on those flavored drinks. I prefer beer, Sam. Beer. I know I'm about to lose a whole bunch of viewers. Beer sucks. I can't drink it. We actually have SeaWorld, and we had Busch Gardens here, so we could get free beer. I think my mom and dad did something. When I was younger, they just said, here, try, and they got the little, what's that called? No beer, whatever. It's like a non-alcoholic beer. And so they gave me, and I drank it. I asked for it, and they said they would give me a beer. I had no idea there was no alcohol, which me and my cousin were both bragging that we were getting drunk off this that had no alcohol. But in all honesty, I hated the taste. I just wanted to seem cool to my cousin. Hated it then, hate it now. Random question. Who do you think would come out on top between a Predator T-800 and Alien all fighting? Predator. I think the Predator would. Depends. Okay, first of all, yeah, I would say Predator, because first, well, maybe not. Terminator. I'm going to change that. I'm going to change my answer to Terminator, because I think the T-800 would be able to see the Predator, but the Predator wouldn't be able to see the T-800. The Alien would not even bother with a T-800. So basically it would be 2-on-1 for the first bit. And the T-800 would recognize it. The Alien wouldn't bother with it, because basically it's looking for somebody to take to the queen and impregnate and propagate the species. But if the Terminator sees the Alien fighting the Predator, he would realize it would be an ally until it's time to destroy the Alien. In all honesty, though, the T-800 would not have any business destroying the Alien, because the aliens would not need or have any business with the T-800s. So even if they destroyed humanity, I don't think the aliens would be something that the T-800 would have to destroy. Just saying. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but just based on the fact that the aliens are all about propagating the species, yeah, they would. I think they would end up ignoring the T-800s. only until the aliens were about to go into something that the Terminators would need, the Skynet basically would need, would then they become a threat, and then I think the Terminators would destroy the aliens rather handily, as a matter of fact. If the T-800 has the living flesh, it would have a heat signature. Yeah, I thought about that, but ultimately, though, yeah, I guess if you're having, because when I was thinking T-800, I was thinking just the exoskeleton, the endoskeleton. I rarely, if ever, so flavored drinks or mixed drinks. Haven't liked light beer, says Rhaegar, and mixed drinks since I was early 20. Everybody has their things. I remember back in the 80s when if a guy couldn't handle his liquor, he was supposed to be ashamed. I never was. I'm sorry. It's just, I never was. I'm not one of those guys. I've seen drunk people. I've got alcoholics in my family, and I've never even, nah, I'm sorry. Drinking is not a skill. So it's fine. Let's see. Who wins between Predator, T-800, and Alien? Squirrel Girl. She packed. She did one. Yeah. Squirrel Girl comes in and kicks the shit out of all of them. Right. Let's see. If plot armor is allowed, Squirrel Girl, didn't she? Yeah, she beat Thanos. I remember the worst thing I saw in a comic in a long time. America Chavez walked up and started to have a conversation with Galactus. I'm like, why? Why would Galactus give a shit about America Chavez? Because she was supposed to, I forget the details. I think she was supposed to try to get Galactus to help them in a fight. Freaking hell, why does Galactus care? Well, even before the woke stuff, something that was going on that still goes on a little bit today that just tells me we just have bad writers is the fact that they write the superheroes as if the superheroes read the comics. And they know everything, even the secrets. And it's just, to me, it's bad writing. It's cheap and it's cheating. Let's see. Just type in Dr. Livesey on YouTube and watch the memes. He's from Russia version of Treasure Island. Oh, okay. Doing all right, Redguard. I'm actually, I'm kind of sad. My daughter's leaving tomorrow. I'm probably not going to be the one that drives her. We found out that, we figured one of us is going to take my youngest daughter to work, and one of us is going to go to the airport with my oldest daughter. I more than likely will not be the one that gets to take my oldest daughter to the airport. Let's see. The only reason for mixed drinks was during probation. The booze tasted so bad they had to mix it. Well, booze tastes bad to me, so I don't mind the mixing at all. Yeah, but either way. Also, Gail's home. Hey, Gail. She just walked in, so the bird's probably going to start getting very, very loud. Yeah, but anyway, I've done talk about the topic I had for a long time now. Have you heard about this Barbarian movie? What's that all about? I've seen it. I thought it was a mini series. It's on Netflix. That's about all I could tell you. In all honesty, I've been kind of disconnected this week. Galactus could simply erase America Chavez's powers if he deemed necessary. Exactly. You're sounding and looking very lonely tonight, Mrs. Ingleton. Nah, she's good. She just got home from work. She's even thinking about going back to Universal, or I want her to go back to Universal because I want to go back to Universal. She's kind of trying to. She worked at Red Lobster for so long that I think she's when she was finally done with it, she's bouncing around like she's trying to find her work identity again, because she worked there for 25, 30 years. She's a long freaking time. So now she's kind of making changes. Yeah. Not to get serious, but alcohol is poison. Of course, pointing this out to people makes me look like Buzz Killington. Well, yeah, of course. You're definitely drinking poison to your system. We all know that. Anywho, you know what? I'm going to call this because I can hear the bird getting a little bit excited. He's going to be coming out, in all honesty. I just want to throw him outside of the room, not have anything to do with him. Is it me or the predators cowards? I mean, they go out of their way to hunt creatures that have little chance of beating them. I thought about that too. You make it a little even. You've got your spear. The Indian guy has his spear. Fight him. I think, yeah, I think you're absolutely right as far as that is concerned, with the invisibility at the very least. But then again, we go out and shoot deer. But I don't think anybody thinks you're being brave if you go out and shoot a deer. If you're, bow hunting a bear, you're stupid, but you're a little bit more brave. Anyway, guys, once again, thanks for hanging out with us and with me. And let's see, tomorrow, check back. I think around maybe 8, 9 o'clock, we might have a one-box auction, 50 centers again, that kind of thing. Make it a little bit, because I just don't know what's going to go on and what's happening tomorrow. So join around 8 o'clock tomorrow, and see you then. You guys have a great night, and thank you very, very much for watching. Oh, do all